My sister went missing when I was only 3 years old. While my memory of my sister is fuzzy, I remember the day she disappeared with startling clarity. It was a Saturday. Mum was in the bathroom cleaning Dad's shaved beard hairs and complaining. Dad was in their bedroom, shouting back at her that he cleaned everything up. I was in my bedroom, colouring a Barney the Dinosaur colouring book. It was the 90s, so Barney was still popular at the time. I remember my sister making fun of me for it. My sister was 14 years older than me. At 17 years old, we never did anything together. She wasn't a typical teenager. She was caring and thoughtful and nice. She helped our parents around the house and was always at home. She was a gem in the family. My parents had me by accident, as evidenced in the difference between our ages. Either way, my sister was perfect. That day, I remember my sister sitting in the floor of my room and doing her homework. I was colouring Barney. She was using an old calculator to do her algebra. She called out to my mum and asked her if she knew what some number divided by another number was. My mum shouted back that she had no idea. My dad was laughing. My dad came into the room and asked my sister if she wanted to go to the store and buy some paper clips for his office at work. Dad rarely let my sister drive by herself, so my sister jumped at the chance. I asked her if I could go, and I heard Mum from the bathroom shout that I needed to start my lessons. You see, Mum gave me my daily lessons from an early age so that I could leg up when I started kindergarten. My sister left and never came back. They found Dad's car at the department store. My sister never made it inside. No one ever saw her. It was like she disappeared into thin air. It ruined my family. My mother and father got divorced before I started kindergarten, and I went to stay with my mother's side of the family. I grew up and had a relatively normal life, save for Mum's insanely overprotective mentality. I grew up in a bubble of sorts. It has been over 20 years since my sister disappeared. 3 years ago I graduated college, and I received a strange card in the mail. It was unmarked and had no return address. There were no words. All it said was, "Congratulations," in cheap print. It looked like a card that you buy at a roadside gas station. I threw it away and never thought about it after that. Dad lives alone in the city a few hours away. I go visit him occasionally. He never remarried. He drinks a lot. Not an alcoholic. He can still function. But he's nearing that stage. I went and visited him a few days ago. I was helping him clear out his garage to make way for a construction crew. I was helping him expand the house. There was an old trunk, something I had never seen before. It looked out of place. There was a padlock on it with code. The lock was brand new, but the trunk looked like it was 50 years old, at least. I thought it odd, but I got distracted with helping my dad clean up and forgot to ask about it. Before I was set to leave, I reached down to pick up my keys and saw that there was a rip in the side of the trunk. I could see a small silver box about the size of a ring box. I reached my hand inside to grab it, but but I immediately felt something else. It felt like paper. I pulled out a handful of what I saw to be pictures. They were old printed pictures. Most of them had water damage, and I couldn't make out what was in them. I kept flipping through the pictures and stopped at one. In the corner of the photograph, I saw my mother. She had that early 90s hairstyle. You know what I'm talking about. The 80s had just ended, but the hairstyle stuck around. I remember that hairstyle from when I was a kid. In the picture, my mother was standing on the side, her face ironed into a frown. She was staring at something that was scratched out. I saw my dad's left hand in the picture, as if he was reaching out to the scratched out portion of the picture. He was the one who took the picture. The last picture in my hand was of my mother, much later, maybe early 2000s. My mother was standing beside a guy I didn't know. He was tall and handsome. His skin was light brown. Dad was on the other side of Mum, his arm around her. They were at the beach, I think. They were all barefoot, and white sand was all around them. However, to the side of the picture was a girl. This part of the picture had been scratched out and ripped a bit, but I could make out her body. She was wearing a thin bikini. It was pink with white polka dots. She was lying on the sand, her eyes staring through the white tears in the photograph. Her eyes were sunken and red. I knew those eyes. I reached back into the trunk for more pictures and pulled out the silver box. I opened it up and found nothing but an old, unopened bag of department store paper clips and a receipt dated the day my sister disappeared.